大家好，我是村长。我们呢，今天做一下这个中译英的通传啊，这个就不多说了，它中文你们都能听得懂啊。我们直接开始。
大家好，我是庄子怡。
Hey guys, I'm 庄子怡. I love food. In my life, there rarely anything can make me more happy than food. According to the eating habits, I was influenced by my parents. I have three diet virtues. The first, I'm not a picky eater. I eat everything. The second one is I care about the cost efficient. The third, I hate waste, so I ate all the leftovers. These three virtues help me to be from a foodie to become a professional chef. Because as a chef, you need to know about the cost efficient, and you need to process and handle different kinds of food. Because cooking becomes my career, so I have more chance to do the grocery shopping. I visited many farms and many food process plants, and I read all the books and reports about the cuisine culture. Through the deeper understanding, I realized that eating in our days, the all industrialized society is not only to sustain our life or to fulfill or because of our appetite. Like every time you eat, they have the social responsibility beyond your personal preferences. It does not matter whether you're aware of it or not, but you already influence the environment and you need to bear the consequences. There's no government or any organization can spare you of this responsibility. I'm not a representative of environmental group. I'm just only a cook or a foodie. I want to share some insights in the diet ethics. So the first principles is like I'm not a picky eater. I eat everything. This is not going to work anymore. Nowadays, there are many things. It does not matter you like it or not. You need to restrict yourself. You should avoid eating. Okay, let's start from seafood. When I was a child, my parents told me you should eat more fish. It makes you smarter. But now it's not the case anymore. From the pregnant guides, there are many fishes you should avoid eating, and you should eat less. Like the avoiding eating, the first two is not common in China, but the third and fourth one, the sharks and tunas and mackerel, those big fishes you should not eat. Why? Because those big fishes are at the top of the food chain. So there are many heavy metals in the water. If these fish live in the contaminated water area, so all the heavy metals can accumulate in their body. Like the common people eat too much, they will damage your nervous system or immune system. But a pregnant woman eat it will make the baby, like the infant, deformity. But some people say they're so delicious. I'm happy to pay the price of health, but because of this this unreasonable demand, like one big tuna can be auctioned in Japan for more than $1 million, and many people are in the Weibo or Twitter are showing off their fancy food, their fancy fish. But I mean, you can ignore your health, but you need to pay attention to the data. The tuna is what we call the bluefin tuna in Taiwan. So this is an endangered species. We should not eat them. We should protect them. This is the data from the Atlantic. You can see all these species are becoming less and smaller. It will be it's almost extincted in 2012. According to the data, in the past 50 years, the Pacific, the bluefin tuna is already reduced by 97%. It's only 3% left. So the fisherman catches is becoming smaller. They don't have a chance to grow big. It's already been eaten. It's become the sushi. So this bluefin tuna's distinction is what we saw before our eyes. And another fish, the codfish, is already extincted. At least from the business perspective, it's already like this fish is already extincted. Now we can see different kind of codfish. Actually, it's not a real codfish. It's similar fishes. Because those codfish or tuna is disappearing, the merchants need to exploit different kinds of deep ocean fish. So now, like the fish boat, they use a bottom trawl net to catch the fishes. This net is a huge and heavy net. They have the metal at the bottom. It can sink all the way to the seabed and can trawl in thousands of miles. The area they crossed, everything was destroyed. Like all the fishes were captured. Let's see what it looks like after this net come across. So, like before the net, there are corals there. 3 days later, it's all dead silent. So the environmentalists say this bottom trawl net is just kind of the deep forest in the ocean. After they got all this stuff, the fishermen only keep the valuable stuff and just throw away all the other stuff. And okay, in China, the environment was destroyed too. Needless to say, all those tunas or those fancy fish, but just some local fishes are disappearing too, like different kinds of fish. Okay. Like all these different species of fish, they're disappearing from the river and from our place. You cannot buy them anymore. All those fishes are farmed fishes. So what kind of fish we should eat? The main principle is we should eat more farmed fish, less ocean fish, eat small fish at the bottom of the food chain, less big fishes at the top of the chain, the food chain. Because in mainland China, we don't have the seafood guidelines, so I recommend you to check out the guideline from Hong Kong or Taiwan, or you can search them, or you can Google them. I recommend one book I liked a lot called The Bottom Feeder. I think this is a classic work of Eat Ethic. They talked a lot about the ocean and seafood. And then I want to remind you guys, you should not think like this way. Oh, okay, these fishes are disappearing, so I should hurry up to eat more. Okay, because actually if we stop fishing those ocean fishes, actually the population can come back. They can recover. So let's talk about meat. Half years ago, the CCTV revealed a chicken farm in Shandong. They're so-called fast-growing chicken, which can be grown to 5 gene within 40 days. The environment is so dirty and so crowded. Like 1 square feet, there are 15 chickens there. We use the lights all the time to make them grow all the time, like 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They're growing so fast. They're very unhealthy. Okay. And because they're so crowded, they're so anxious, so they just peck each other. So one chicken sick, they can infect all the others. So even though in the farm they used a lot of antibiotics, there are also hundreds of chickens died every day. These are all included in the cost. So after 40 days, those chickens will be sent to the slaughterhouse and then to the food franchises like KFC or the supermarkets. I remember like everybody was surprised to hear this news. Said, we should not go to the KFC anymore. I'm not surprised because of the dirty environment of the chicken farms. I'm more surprised by the reaction of people because all the huge chicken farms, it's not only in Shandong, in Taiwan, in Thailand, or US or America. They're all the same. According to the consumer report in 2010, like 60% of the chicken were infected by different kinds of materials, which is very dangerous. Because of this, when I was in the cooking school, all the chefs told me the raw chicken is very dangerous. You should put them at the bottom of the refrigerator and pack it carefully, just in case it will contaminate all the other foods. And you should wash your hands very carefully and wash the surfaces which be touched by the raw chicken. So it should be very well cooked. We're so careful, just like we're dealing with some chemical weapons. And the eggs are more or less the same. In these big chicken farms, those eggs are also full of bacteria. Okay. So the eggs are not recommended. Why? It's so dirty, and the way we raise the chickens are so inhumane. It's because under the business logic, we should use the minimum time to get maximum production. The merchants want to lower the cost. The consumers want to get the cheap products. So nobody care about the animals' feelings. When I noticed this problem, I want to review the 3 principles I have before. I need to modify the second one. I like cheap products, but I should not do that. If you have the experience of buying chicken or eggs, because the free-range chicken is more expensive than fast-growing chicken. Like one fast-growing chicken is kind of like 25 yuan, but the free-range chicken will be 100 yuan, and the eggs will be at least twice the price. But the quality is very different. If you compare the meat and the broth, they taste very different. But people will say, it's so expensive. I cannot afford it. What should I do? For this problem, I think it over because I buy food. I do the grocery shopping every day. So my suggestion is, if you cannot afford it, don't eat it. It's not necessary to eat meat every day, but when you want to eat meat, you should buy the good one. We can eat less, but eat better. Or you can just eat more rice. I recommend another book called Eating Animal. This is a young novelist's reflection of his meat eating. It's a very interesting book. Willing to pay more for better meat. This principle is also suitable for vegetables. Many people ask me, is really the organic vegetable worth the price? My answer is, the organic vegetable indeed tastes better than the average, the common vegetables, because they are harvested during the perfect condition. But our purpose of buying organic vegetables is not for the taste, but for the environment and for your own health. Now the farmers use many pesticides. You see, the many farmers, they don't eat the vegetables they grow. They have different plots to grow their own vegetables. They don't use pesticides in that plot because the fertilizer we're using is chemical fertilizer. It's not organic fertilizer. It's just it can make the plants grow faster, but will harm but it's not healthy and harm the soil and make the soil cannot grow more plants. Only if you use more nitrogen fertilizer. According to the Chinese Normal University research, China consumed 35% of the nitrogen fertilizer of the world, and the efficiency is about 30%. So that means like 70% of the nitrogen is washed away released to the water and atmosphere. The raw material for the nitrogen fertilizer is coal. So every year we need like 100 million tons of coal. So it's very heavy polluted. Okay, so these vegetables, it just looks cheap. Actually, it just transfer the cost to the environment and to our health. Like we breathe the dirty air and drink the dirty water. So the money we saved on the food is not enough to pay for the medicine. Some people say, okay, the domestic vegetable is not good enough. Why not buy imported food? But I'll tell you, the imported food is more expensive and is not fresh. If I can choose, I will choose the domestic, fresh, organic vegetables, and not to pay for the taxes, the tariffs, or the oil. And there are people doubt whether the domestic organic food are real or are authentic. So I suggest you just go there to check it out. There are many organic farms out there, so you can check it out personally. If you think they're good enough, then you can buy. Here is another book called Omnivore's Dilemma. If you only read one book about eating ethic, this is the one you should read. This is the classic. Its time is so limited. Many people think the food or gourmet is like a pure pleasure activities, but I think that the food can be a conscious business. Every time we choose an environment-friendly food, it's like you vote for the environment. Like every time when you eat, you can pay attention to the environment. We can eat out a better environment, like bite by bite. It's popular saying that only food and love we should live up to. It's romantic, but I think it's kind of short-sighted. Food and love, of course, we should live up to, but there are mountain, water, air, sunlight, birds, beasts, everything we should live up to. Thank you. 我操，这个女的讲的有点快啊，中间有差点啊，有好几次差点就跟不上了。然后其实中间有一个地方她在说那个鸡蛋的时候，对吧？其实我已经听到她要讲什么了。我就说那鸡蛋上面有很多细菌，对不对啊？其实她讲了一大堆，又这个那个啊，这就是一些处理的技巧吧。这个我就不多说了啊，因为你们绝大部分人也不会真的去来做这个同传了，这只是我自己的一个日常练习啊。我待会儿还会反复的把这个多看几遍。如果我有时间的话，对吧？然后有一些我翻译错误翻译的地方，我还会好好的想一想啊，就是怎么能翻译得更好。我们这个就先这样子啊。